When the war ended, this land did not rise. It remained still. Not because people refused to move, but because there was nowhere to go. In 1953, the average life here was measured in less than $70 a year. Less than the cost of a pair of shoes today. Less than the value of a single meal in many places. This was not poverty as a concept. It was poverty as a daily condition. More than half of what kept people alive came from beyond the land itself. Food did not come from enough fields. Medicine did not come from enough factories. Even the materials used to rebuild, cement, steel, fuel, arrived already labeled as aid. This land did not produce what it needed. It waited, and waiting became routine. Milk arrived in cans with words children could not read. Flour arrived in sacks stamped with unfamiliar symbols. For a long time, help was not a moment. It was a season. Children grew up believing that survival arrived from elsewhere. That meals came from ships. That tomorrow depended on what crossed the sea. This land had nothing to trade. No resources. No leverage. No promise of future return. There was no negotiation. Only acceptance. From across the ocean, the United States sent grain, milk, and fuel. Not as investments. Not as transactions. But as relief. Under the banner of the United Nations, countries that shared no language with this land shared their supplies. Some shared more than supplies. They arrived wearing uniforms, standing on ground that was not theirs, fighting in a war they did not begin. Many of them were young. Many of them did not return. Their names faded from memory, but the land remembers wait. Footsteps. Silence. Turkey did not only send aid. It stayed close. It left behind caretakers. It left behind children who learned that kindness could come from a flag they had never seen before. None of this help came with conditions. None of it asked, "What will you give us back?" Because this land had nothing to give. It received because it could not survive otherwise. For years, aid was not a gift. It was life itself. But slowly something changed. Not suddenly. Not heroically. Food lines shortened. Factories appeared where rubble had been. Schools replaced shelters. The land began to produce. Not abundance, but enough. Aid did not disappear overnight. It receded. And with that change came a quiet danger. For the first time, this land could have forgotten. It could have told itself that survival was earned. That progress came only from effort. That the beginning had been stronger than it truly was. But memory remained. Memory of receiving without deserving. Of living without bargaining. Years later, ships began to leave this land's ports. Not empty. Not seeking. But carrying. Medicine packed carefully. Doctors trained quietly. Food prepared without expectation. They were sent to other lands now standing where this one once stood. Hungry. Broken. Waiting. This land did not help to be praised. Did not help to be seen. It helped because it recognized the silence. The same silence it once lived inside. By 2009, the direction of aid had formally reversed. This land entered the circle of those who give. But the reason was never written in policy language. It lived elsewhere. In the memory that nothing at the beginning had been earned. So when this land gives now, it does not calculate. It does not ask what will return. It gives, the way it once received. Freely, because a land that survived on unearned help understands something simple. What is given without asking should never be forgotten. And when possible, it should be given, the same way.